What's up, Spidey fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, back with another action figure review. This time I'm taking a look at the Marvel Legends retro card figure of Symbiote Spider-Man. Spider-Man the Animated Series is still my favorite animated version of Spider-Man, so I was very happy to add this figure to my collection. So with that being said, let's take a look at the package details now. As you can see, it's a basic bubble on card, although I will say the bubble is pretty sturdy. It's not something that should easily dent. I appreciate that. Two alternate sets of hands right here. Here's the figure framed within the bubble. And of course it says Symbiote Spider-Man. And there's a nice piece of art right there on the front. On the top front, you get this very familiar design from Spider-Man the Animated Series. On the back bottom, we get product shots of the other figures that are available in this wave. We're given a diagram of how to change the alternate hands. We also get a brief bio of Symbiote Spider-Man in 5 different languages. The English version says, Spider-Man gets an all-new look when he finds a sleek black costume in a space shuttle wreck. Little does Spidey realize he's joined himself to the predatory alien symbiote, Venom. And now it's time to bust this figure out of the package and see what's inside. Here is the figure in the inner plastic alone. And here we see Spider-Man in the iconic black costume out of the package and ready to rumble. There is so much to like about this figure, and I'm sure many Spider-Man fans will want to add it to their collections. So let's take a closer look at the loose details now. So here's a closer look at the 2 sets of alternate hands. You get the open palm hand as well as the thwipping hands. And here's one of the fists changed out for the thwipping hand, and all of the hands have this hinge on them to give you greater options when you are posing the figure. So here's a look at the lower body. Obviously, it is all one color, and there's lots of good sculpting here. The musculature is accurate to the type of body that Spider-Man has. In terms of articulation with the lower body, there's good motion here with the ankle. It pivots back and forth, and that'll help you keep the figure steady. You get this swiveling here at the calf. I appreciate that. Double jointed knees. You can get them to go pretty far back, so I like that. You also get this swivel here at the thigh, but it does make the quadriceps look a little weird when you do articulate that. In terms of the hips, you can get the figure to kick pretty far out, as well as to go pretty far back. A little bit of an angle there, but that's okay. As far as the side kicking motion with the figure, you can get his leg to go up this far, which is pretty good, but I would have expected just a little bit more here. I think this little piece of the plastic here on the hips, though, hinders this just a bit. So I would have liked for him to have had a leg that goes up a little bit further. But overall, this is really excellent lower body articulation. Now let's take a closer look at the torso. The logo is done very well. You can see that the lines are very exact, very sharp where they need to be. And I'm very pleased with that. I've seen a lot of black-suited Spider-Man figures over the years where this logo is done poorly and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. And it can be a big negative for a figure. But in this case, you see that the logo connects all the way around the way it should. And that just looks really good. So I'm very appreciative of that. In terms of articulation, I'll say that it's mostly positive. You get this lower torso hinge, which allows you to crunch the figure forward that far. I like that. And it allows you to give him this kind of look as if he's, jumping or, kind of gliding along. So I certainly appreciate that. However, there's no swivel here with the lower torso, so you can't get it to go side to side. You do have the option here with the upper torso, so there's good movement here. But when you do that, because of the way the logo looks here, you get this kind of weird bifurcation of the spider logo between the upper and lower torso. And obviously that happens on the back too. Not too much separation here. It doesn't look too bad when you crunch the figure forward, so I can't complain about that. But I just would have liked a little bit more articulation here. You know, a swivel here, the lower part of the torso, I think would have helped a lot. But overall, the torso looks really good. This is the kind of musculature you want for Peter Parker. Very defined, very athletic looking, but not overly huge. So overall, I think a very good effort on the torso. As we take a look at the arms here, first off, I want to point out the butterfly joints so you can get the arms to move back this far. And certainly appreciate that. When you're doing Spider-Man poses, having these butterfly joints is very helpful. And you can get them to go forward that far too. So I certainly appreciate those. As far as the rest of the arms go, you get this paint application here on the hand. Good movement at the wrist. The figure has double jointed elbows and bicep swiveling on both arms. You can get the arms to raise up from the sides at the shoulder joints this much. Now, with the way the trapezius is done, it blocks them from going up any further. So I would have liked a little more range of motion there, but nonetheless, these arms are very well done overall. And for collectors who like to put their figures into dynamic poses or people who do stop motion, I think they'll be very happy with these butterfly joints. As far as the head sculpt goes, I think collectors will be happy again. I like the way that it looks. I appreciate the shape of the head and the way that the light dances off of the black plastic. Hasbro has put out so many great Spider-Man figures over the years. Obviously, practice makes perfect. The lenses look great overall, although I wish they were a little glossier. You'll notice this hinge back here, and that allows the figure's head to go really far back, and you can get him to look down, and the head moves easily from side to side. Overall, this is just an excellent head sculpt. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and please tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more Spider-Man content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.